Hi, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about Ludwig Wittgenstein. He's considered to be one of the most important 20th century philosophers, and my co-host, Ludwig, is named after him. Wittgenstein lived from 1889 to 1951. He was born in Austria, but later moved to Britain. He is sharply critical of traditional metaphysics, and much of his own thought is in the philosophy of language. The early Wittgenstein and the later Wittgenstein are very different in some ways. While his approach changes, however, the main point of what he's trying to say is still pretty much the same. Wittgenstein is trying to show how our language relates to the world and whether or not it is capable of expressing philosophical ideas. The early Wittgenstein uses formal logic to discuss these problems. Wittgenstein shows that formal logic can only express tautologies, things which are true by definition, such as all circles are round. Logic itself cannot say anything more than this. Philosophers want to say more, like the scientists, who are able to find out the truths of the natural world, but because of the nature of logic, philosophers cannot actually tell us anything metaphysical. Wittgenstein says that, because logic can only tell us tautologies, we cannot use it to talk about metaphysical issues, such as God, free will, ethics, and aesthetics. Such things can be shown, but they cannot be said. Our philosophical language does not have a structure that can describe them. Any attempt to explain these principles with philosophy results in nonsense. All the traditional problems of philosophy, according to Wittgenstein, are nonsense, and we shouldn't try to talk about them. He says, "Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent." It's important to note that Wittgenstein is not saying metaphysical concepts don't exist. He is saying that we ourselves cannot talk about them. In fact, the only things we can talk about, facts about the natural world, are the things that are less important. What's actually important is unsayable for us. The later Wittgenstein no longer talks about formal logic. Instead, he focuses on ordinary language and how we talk in everyday speech. He is still, however, trying to get the same point across. We cannot use language to answer philosophical problems. Wittgenstein says that words are significant not because of what their meaning is, but because of how they are used. He says that the different words are like different chess pieces. Each one works differently. For example, when I say hello, the point isn't what the word hello technically means. The point is that I use it as a greeting. Words don't mean anything by themselves. They're only meaningful in a language game. Wittgenstein doesn't give a specific definition for language games, but they're pretty much customary uses of words in everyday language. For instance, when I say, "Hi, how are you?" and Ludwig says, "Good, how are you?" That's a language game. We're both following the unwritten rules of the game, and the point isn't so much to find out exactly how the other is doing. That's just the structure of the game we play when we meet. Using ordinary language, Wittgenstein makes the same argument that he made earlier. We cannot actually express metaphysical truths. The metaphysical truths that we want to say don't naturally fall under any language game. Because of this, the words we use to describe metaphysics are not being used as they are in their natural language games. They are therefore nonsense. Wittgenstein recognizes that we want to do philosophy anyway, so he says that philosophy can have a therapeutic use. We can ask and answer philosophical puzzles to get the philosophy out of our system, but these are not real philosophical problems. Wittgenstein is the last of the philosophers who we especially wanted to cover just to give a very basic outline of the history of philosophy. Of course, there are many, many more philosophers with good insights to tell us, so we'll continue to look at them over the coming weeks, just no longer in chronological order. We hope you continue journeying through philosophy with us. See you next time. Happy philosophizing!